Well, I said this would happen, and, somebody pick up the phone because I called it. So, Count Dankula's appeal got rejected. Twice. So, all I can say is, at this point, the situation is just, to be honest, it's just completely stupid. Look, the guy is a complete, he's an internet shitlord. He says things to basically gain attention and to basically be as offensive and edgy as he possibly can. And in a way, he's succeeded in getting that attention. Now, here's the thing. I said, even before this even happened, 2 or 3 years ago, sooner or later, someone is going to say something that gets them in trouble, goes to jail, and there's a whole thing about it. Well, here's the whole thing about it. There has been an appeal. He has been rejected. So what happens? Well, I think he said in his video he's got 3 months, I think, to pay the fine, or else he ends up back in court to ask why haven't you paid the fine. He's basically saying, I'm not going to pay it. So at that point, he's probably going to end up going to jail. So this is just ridiculous, because here's the thing. Count Dankula is not someone you should be supporting as this free speech martyr. What did he actually say that is so worthy of defending? It isn't at all. Recently, especially in the light of the actions of Israel, as you've seen the actions that have happened in Palestine on the Palestinians, especially Palestinians who have been peacefully protesting and basically been shot at and killed, there have been people who have voiced their opinions on this and expressed their opinions using their free speech and have either been let go from their jobs or universities. If you look at the statistics for people who have actually been affected by their free speech, more often than not, it's actually people on the left, not the right. So where are you, these free speech, absolutists, these martyrs who want someone to support and champion? Why aren't you supporting these people who are legitimately criticising Israel's policy to the Palestinians and have been fired or let go as a consequence for expressing those opinions? Where have you been on that? There are so many examples of clear free speech violations that you guys have just not been there before, or have just completely ignored. You should not be supporting Dankula as some sort of free speech martyr. He is not. He had nothing to say. He had nothing political to say, as he is now trying to spin it as. And what's the funny thing is he was on a radio show, and afterwards they had I can't remember, they had this woman on, they had a lawyer and someone from I think the council or something like that, and they called it right. This guy is just an idiot. He's a meme lord who basically said something edgy, and as a result has been punished for what he says. Now, here's the thing. I want free speech, but you have to admit free speech is a double-edged sword. Just because you say something doesn't mean there might be consequences for you saying it. And here's the thing. The consequences have been Count Dankula was found guilty, his appeal has been denied. He should just pay the money and just move on with his life. But he can't, because all this attention gets him more moolah. If he wants to go to prison, because he's seen recently the whole Tommy Robinson debacle. Tommy Robinson, while he was in prison, basically got a massive payday. So, for him going to prison isn't something he should be worried about. He would probably be ecstatic about it, because if he does go, it will be a short-term prison sentence. He can basically do what Tommy Robinson's been doing recently and say, oh, it was so terrible, all these bad things happened to me in prison. I was, mentally tortured. And then, he gets a massive payday out of it, because there'll all be these idiots who are like, oh my god, free speech, but bizarrely nowhere else when actual free speech has been, infringed upon. Remember, Count Dankula joined UKIP, a party that's in the past prosecuted people for making a meme about their manifesto. Sound familiar to anyone? And yet Dankula's a part of that party. Odd, that. At the end of the day, at least take this away. If you want someone to be your free speech martyr, choose someone better than Count Dankula. Because Count Dankula's got nothing actual intelligent to say, poignant, something that would actually mean something for his speech. Find someone better than him, please, because he's just not worth it. He's not worth the hill going on to die for. Same for Tommy Robinson. And we've learned, and we've seen that now. Look, Tommy Robinson was convicted for contempt. Well, he was arrested, for breach of the peace, sentenced to contempt of court. The appeal process basically said, look, procedure wasn't followed, which was a victory for procedure, not for freedom of speech, because they admitted in his appeal that he was guilty. He will now basically go through this entire process again. He will plead guilty again. And he will go to jail again. So, guys, what's going to happen with Count Dankula? He's probably going to go to prison. He's an idiot for doing so. Just pay the fine, dude. You've got hundreds of people on Patreon who went, yeah, we'll pay your £800 fine for you. And, I think you got at least about over, £1,000 for it. Just pay the fine. You're not going to take any financial hit. So, this basically comes up to one point and leaves me with this. You're just someone who is desperately seeking attention, because when you do, you get money for it. And currently, you're milking this for everything you can. This is not a freedom of speech issue. At all. Just like Tommy Robinson, this is just another non-issue that people on the right are going, oh my god! It's not an issue. Not at all.